Hi, I'm Luke with naturalparfums.com, and I'm going to be showing you some different carrier oils today. What you see here is a bunch of different carriers, and this is for the purpose of cosmetics and beauty products. And what I've done is ranked them by the Comedogenic rating. And what that rating scale is 0 to 5. 0 being least likely to clog your pores. 1 being very low, not likely. 1 and 2 is still not likely. 2 is moderate. 2 to 3, moderately low. Once you get 3 to 4 to 5, you can get higher chances of that. Now, one of the things I've noticed is a lot of the ones on the lower end of the scale will be higher in linoleic acid, and ones up here be higher in oleic acid. And so if you have dry skin, right, and you need your skin nourished, it's probably okay to go higher on the end here, right? So like my girlfriend has real dry skin. She responds real well to macadamia nut. We'll mix different things. Actually, her blend right here, I customize cosmetics for a living, and I customized her one, and she can have a whole different oil than I can, whereas my skin is a little more oily. I make my own, and a lot of times I'm blending things in here. So what I'm going to do is go carrier by carrier and kind of show you guys some different ones. So these carriers are used for diluting essential oils, which you see up here. This is what they call a perfumer's organ. So that's all of my essential oils. Essential oils, for the most part, can't be used neat. You can't put those directly on your skin without hurting yourself. So you need to have a carrier. You need to dilute it. Give you an idea of that dilution, something like this, which is a 10 milliliter bottle, this is 200 drops, right? So every milliliter is 20 drops. At a 1% dilution, you're talking 2 drops, right? So maybe 2 drops of an essential oil. And if you're using it for your face, that's all you want. Now on the body, you probably have a little more flexibility. For instance, right here, this will be a parfum I made. Not an eau de parfum, but an actual parfum. And this says real oud, real rose, and this is at a 25%. So, fourth of the bottle. So anyway, I'm going to go through the different carriers and show you guys. So on the zeros, glycerin is real common as a carrier. You're going to see that in a lot of products. This is sugarcane on it, but this is sugarcane alcohol. I'll use this for different perfume blends where I want it to have a certain sweet taste to it. And I only deal in natural products, so that's part of why I don't use perfumer's alcohol, because it's got different additives to affect color, and everything we do is 100% natural. And in most cases, organic. I'm actually moving towards everything organic, but the reason you see honey up here, Manuka honey, is for anybody dealing with acne-prone skin. Manuka honey, you'll see a grading scale. See that 20 plus? You're going to want to look at the higher number, that 829. If they see how both say plus, but the MGO rating is what you're looking for. And what a lot of these honey companies will do, will put 80 plus, and they won't put the other number, and they're really talking 80 plus MGO. You want the highest MGO possible, and that's awesome for burns, for killing acne. Actually, I make a really killer face mask, and a lot of times what I'll mix will be bentonite clay and Manuka honey. So, but that is a carrier, although not listed on many websites. Some of these won't be. I try to be as comprehensive as possible because there's really not a lot of videos out there comprehensively showing the carriers. So, and obviously, if you guys have questions or anything, my job is to customize these things for people, and I want to build this community. So I'm here to answer any questions or help you all. This right here is aloe vera. I strip aloe vera. This is a 0 on the Comedogenic rating, and it's also 0 irritability. I think it's a magical product. I literally stock my freezer full of it. Strip the aloe vera. That's probably my #1 product. Believe it or not, pure unrefined shea butter is a 0. Now, if you've ever put that on your skin, it's super thick, super heavy. You would think it would be clog your pores, but it just doesn't. And if I didn't get into that too much, 0 is least likely to clog your pores, and it goes all the way up to more likely. Obviously, like I said, it depends on the type of skin you have, whether you're, dry or whether you're oily. But for the rest of the 0s, we got hemp. Notice a lot of these are going to be cold pressed and organic. So if I can get a cold pressed, that's ideal. Expeller press is kind of your next best bet. So hemp is 0, aloe vera, alcohol, vegetable glycerin, sunflower oil. You'll see some people say apple cider vinegar, but it's sort of up in the air. And some other ones not listed here would be emu, which is one of the only animal product oils, and that's supposedly matches our skin sebum the most out of any oil, but some people object to having animal products. And on the back of these, I actually wrote, so emu's the only 0 I didn't have. And then for the ones, you're gonna find these are more popular. So Rosehip is, you'll see a lot. If you ever go shopping, notice it's 365, I get these from Whole Foods. Always check the year on the back. I've bought these before and it'll say 2018 on it. So, and the bottle next to it'll say 2020. So carrier oils in general, all the ones you see up here, these are gonna last about anywhere from a year to 2 years, depending on the oil. Some of them require refrigeration, like cucumber seed, sesame seed. Others don't. Others require being in the dark. Coconut oil, you don't want to refrigerate. It'll turn hard. So just make sure you're reading about how to properly store the oils. And the main thing to keep these things preserved is avoid heat and avoid oxidation, meaning oxygen. So you'll actually see any kind of beauty products, cosmetics, they have to add preservatives just for that. And I'll get into that. I have a couple up here, or one that's a natural preservative, one of the only ones. But then we've got sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn is really unique. Use it sparingly. It's high in vitamin C. It's also one of the only oils on this table that has an orange hue, and it'll almost turn your skin orange, but it's also probably the most deeply nourishing. However, it is almost closer to a Ayurvedic medicinal type than a lot of the others. So I don't know that I'd be as liberal with using sea buckthorn. But if you're using it for personal use, it's pretty magical. I'd say hemp, it would be second as far as just that type of benefit. Now, Rosehip, that's gotten a lot of press in Hollywood and things like that. It's supposed to be, a lot of people put it on their face. Argan is one of my personal favorites, especially for hair. It's just fantastic. What I'll do, this is what I use for my body wash. When I customize body wash, I will strip aloe vera plants and I'll add a combination of oils. I'll add just different cosmetic ingredients. I won't get too much into giving away recipes, but I can just tell you, if somebody were to mix aloe vera and argan oil and some essential oil, it's not going to bubble like soap, but it changed my life. I literally threw out all my soaps, all my shampoos, and that's what I use now. Meadowfoam is a lot lesser known, but I think it is beautiful. It has a floral type of smell to it, and what's weird is when you put it on your skin, you won't smell anything, and then let it absorb, come back 5 minutes later and smell it, and it is gorgeous. It's probably one of the most expensive ones that's up here, though. That's why you don't see it in a lot of cosmetics. Castor oil is really popular, especially in soaps. It gives a good lather. It's an emollient. And for as thick as it is, it's actually a 1. So some of these will surprise you. Cucumber seed is also an emollient. Doesn't say it on the front like a castor, but you can go back way into the history books of Eastern medicine, and you'll see they use cucumbers a lot for beauty. So I'm really surprised I don't see that more in beauty products. And like that's definitely in my facial oil right there that I use. Strawberry seed oil. I would encourage anybody that if they get these, make sure they're checking the year the batch was made. See how right here it'll say the date. Let me get the light. It'll say the date that it was processed, if I can get this to zoom in. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says date press 6/19, best by 6/22. I don't quite think that the 3-year on strawberry is accurate, so I'm not sure. I don't want to question the vendor, but if you're going to get an oil like that, or like Camellia Seed, or some of these more niche oils, check the date that they were made and try to get it as close to its origination as possible, especially if it doesn't have any additives. A lot of these are pure, but you'll find certain brands, like I found this in Whole Foods, it had additives and I didn't realize it when I first bought it. See? So I try to get it 100%, and then if I'm going to use it in a product, I want to make sure that I'm adding, even if it required a preservative, that I was adding it because I know the quality of which I can add. The other right here in a small sample is raspberry seed. Some of these you'll see CO2, that's fine. CO2 is just a type of extraction that they get the seed. Kiwi seed right here, you can see that I use this. That is literally what I put in my hair gel, which we'll get to a little later, but I put that in my hair gel. Kiwi is really good for your hair. Probably one of the most expensive on this table, though. It is very, very expensive. Here's a list of the other ones. You've got, if it can adjust, you've got broccoli seed, camellia seed, cloudberry, grapeseed, hazelnut, blackberry seed, blueberry seed, safflower, and watermelon seed. Some people debate on safflower. I've seen the safflower with the high linoleic rank 0. I've seen other forms of safflower rank 2. So a lot of times check your source where you're getting it. Now, any of the ones that are 1 to 2, typically the scale is on whole number, okay? But if these, I would see rankings either way. These 3, usually in this direction. Prickly pear has become more and more popular. It's extremely expensive, but it is a good oil for face. And it's also right in the middle where I think it would fit most people's skin. I think it's just the price of it is why you don't see it in as many products, but you'll see it in some high-end ones. Plum Kernel is real nice. It's a little thicker. It takes a little longer to absorb, but it's pleasant. It's not off-putting. Some of the oils from a smell standpoint aren't as nice as others, and I'll try to cover that a little more too. And I feel like I might have skipped over sunflower, but I'll get to that in 1 second. The guava seed here is probably closer to a 1 as well. This is one of the only ones that has maybe a fruit type smell. Obviously with strawberry, kiwi, raspberry, those do too. But I like guava a lot. It's just $20 for a 4-ounce bottle, so it's hard to put a lot in your cosmetics. Now, in case I had missed sunflower, sunflower is one of the ones with the highest amount of vitamin E, if not the highest. So real good for hair. Some people say good for skin. There's debate on vitamin E for skin, but get your vitamins. It can't hurt. Sunflower, what's odd about it, though, is you'll see it sometimes ranked at 2. You'll see it sometimes ranked at 0. It bounces all over. So I think that really just depends on what kind of list you're looking at, who you're talking to. I think with any of these, I'd encourage people, everybody's skin's different. Use it, use it on yourself. Keep the ratings in mind and see how your skin responds, Mine responds real well to cucumber seed. Mine responds real well to argan. Mine responds real well to meadowfoam, right? So a lot of the stuff on this side is more for my kind of more oily skin. So now we're getting into the ones though for people that have sort of drier skin, and maybe they need more nourishing, right? And so now you're getting more into the high oleic acid instead of linoleic. And so jojoba oil, these are the 2s, by the way. Jojoba oil will be a 2. You can see this bottle's been used a lot. I go through jojoba more than anything. It's technically not an oil, it's a wax, but comes from a nut, comes out of New Mexico. It's gained a lot of popularity because it's inexpensive, relatively. And you are going to see jojoba take off. I think if I had to make a prediction out of anything on this table, that'll be the one oil that you just see more and more in products. It's so versatile, and it matches your skin sebum as well as anything on this table, if not the best. And it's sort of a substitute for emu oil in that way. Let me make sure I didn't miss here. Oh, for your 1 to 2 range, by the way, these are some of the others that I didn't have in stock, but Babassu, black raspberry, elderberry, neem, passionfruit, and walnut. So, like I said, if you're getting these, make sure you're getting them cold pressed, organic if possible. Always read the labels and make sure that they're pure. So, for instance, I'll give you a good example. This sweet almond right here. Hold on, I'll show you. I had another sweet almond, right? So I had first bought this thinking, oh, this is Orcacia. That's a great brand. I'm at Whole Foods. I look to the side and I see, well, vitamin E, sunflower oil in it. And at first I wanted just pure sweet almond. And I now, after, making these for a long time, realize tofurol is a preservative, and they extract it from the sunflower, so it's a vitamin E. And actually, look right here, I actually have some. This ranks 2 on the scale. So that is the most common preservative you'll see in oil-based beauty products and cosmetics. If you're dealing with an alcohol-based or a liquid, you will see rosemary right there. I'm trying to get the camera to zoom for you, but it's rosemary CO2, rosemary antioxidant CO2. And all those do is combat the oxidation. But even with those, there's different qualities. Make sure you are vetting the quality. For instance, the quality of this, I typically don't use preservatives if I can avoid it. If I'm selling a product to a person, I usually communicate that we won't add the preservative, but that means we have to overnight ship instead of let it sit in a hot shipping truck for a week. And so, it's a higher shipping cost, but if we can avoid the preservative and people are willing to pay a little bit more for that, it ends up with, a purer product. But in this case, this vitamin E was non-GMO extracted. It was certified organic. So there are even levels to the quality of which your preservatives are. So, but anyway, this sweet almond oil, which was from, I think, CVS, right? A brand I had not really even seen. When you get into the ingredient list, it's just pure. It's pure. And I'm sorry if it's not zooming in, but it's pure. So there's no additive whatsoever. So continuing with the 2s, I do have the vitamin E oil, the preservative. I've got beeswax. A lot of times people forget beeswax as a carrier. Now, it'll range. Some people say beeswax is 0, some say it's a 5. In my experience, I don't know how it's not a 5. When I melt down beeswax and try to put that on skin, I mean, I have to use mineral spirits practically to get it off of the table. I mean, it is a pesky substance when it dries, so I can't imagine why it's ranked 0 to 2. I would think it would be a pore clogger. I don't recommend putting it on your face, but this is what the data shows, so I'm just trying to communicate that. Black seed oil comes from the black cumin seed, I believe, and that is probably my least favorite as far as its scent, its smell is not very good. You also want to keep in mind with some of these, like as we're looking at sweet almond, as we're looking at pecan, and this is sourced organic, cold pressed, sourced locally, which is cool. But these are nuts, right? So if you have nut allergies, don't use anything with nuts in it. That should be pretty self-evident. But olive oil, they say, is a 2. It wouldn't surprise me if it's closer to a 2 to 3. And let's go through the other 2s that before we get to the next level here for you. We've got apricot, avocado, cranberry seed, borage, Brazil nut, peanut, mango butter, peach kernel, pumpkin seed, tamanu. So those are your 2s. When you get to 2 to 3, I've got macadamia nut, fractionated coconut oil. Now you see here fractionated coconut and coconut oil. What's the difference? Fractionated coconut oil has been, I don't want to say lab altered, but they've extracted different parts of this out. So what happens is this does not turn solid when it hits cold. It has a longer shelf life and it has a neutral smell. So for example, for perfumers, like for me, when I'm taking oils and I'm macerating lavender in an oil to get, or I'm taking sandalwood and macerating sandalwood to make a sandalwood oil, I'm wanting something with neutral scent. I'm wanting something with long shelf life because I don't always want the smell of the perfume or the smell of the cosmetic altered. So if fragrance is a real big part of what you're doing, I would recommend fractionated coconut oil, jojoba oil. If you could only have 2 on this whole table as a perfumer, those are your 2. And I even say that ahead of alcohol, right? So most people think of, when they think of perfume, they think of alcohol, maybe some glycerin in it, but those don't last as long if you're using naturals. You can see here, every one of my parfums, I'm using 100% natural ingredients. I'm sitting here macerating sandalwood myself. I'm importing these things from all over the world, going through every supplier possible, looking for the highest quality organic ingredient on the planet. And so these don't, if I'm not using a preservative, I'm making a natural parfum, I want it to last as long as possible. So for something like a citrus, right? So like say grapefruit, when I first get this, right, if I get it right after it's been distilled, I've got maybe a 2-year shelf life if I take care of it. So I need to make that blend, mix, and ship, right, if there are no preservatives in the blend. So it's really important to make sure you're storing these properly. Even though these are all out right now for show, a lot of these I'll keep refrigerated. I will keep them always in the dark, away from the light. And the most important thing, though, is oxidation. Keep a tight lid. Don't let oxygen in there. Some of these, it's probably wise, depending on your usage, move them to smaller bottles, right? So you can use, I'll show you. I have glass bottles. I've got all kinds of plastic bottles. I've got, let me get my glass just to show you, right? So if you can move it to smaller bottles, use what you need, and you can preserve the rest, usually in a cooler, darker environment. And so for your other 2 to 3s, you've got evening primrose, and you're going to have papaya seed. And then when you get to 4, now this is what they say is more likely to clog pores, but that's talking on the face, right? Comedogenic rating. These, yeah, you might not use it on your face unless you have super dry skin. Maybe you could get away with it, but if for body or for hair, it might be fantastic, right? So right here is flax, which I've seen flax rank as high as 5 on the list, okay? This is a hair gel that I make. I put kiwi seed oil in it. I make a certain blend of flax, and it's got Manuka honey. It's got, I mean, this is my personal. I don't think I could even sell it because it would, the cost would be prohibitive. I don't think people would spend the money that it takes to make it. But for personal use, that's the cool thing if you make these products yourself, is you can literally make the highest quality and product on the planet that other people really don't make or can't make because it's cost prohibitive. So that is the fun part of doing this, is if you're into it, you get to use the coolest stuff, the best stuff. So, but anyway, so these will be a bit more for body, or in this case, like I'm showing you, my flax, I use that for hair. That's my hair gel, and I've never gone back to unnatural hair gels, right? I never have trouble getting that stuff out of my hands. Like, it's really good. Now this is coconut oil, not fractionated, just unrefined, pure, cold pressed, organic, right? All the keywords you want. And watch, I'll show you. This is the only one on the table other than the other than maybe the shea butter or the beeswax. It's solid, right? It's solid. So there's a little liquid in there, but boy, that smells so good. It smells so good. It also has a different fat profile. You can read through the fat profiles on these, and you'll see different ones have different makeups, right? See, Buckthorn might be the only one with a certain omega-8, and castor oil might be the only one with a certain type of rheumatic acid, or forgive me, I'm for my lack of chemistry pronunciation. Macadamia nut may be the only one with a certain type of acid in it. So there is a purpose and a place for these if you care to dig deep enough. And last but not least, cocoa butter. Now, this actually smells like chocolate, so you got to be into that, right? I'm more of a vanilla type of person, type of taste. But for the purposes of if you were going to make soap and you wanted to make some thick, kind of gourmand kind of soap, or something for body, this would be really good for body. So this is brand new. That's the newest one. Truthfully, the smell kind of was a little off-putting to me, so I haven't used it yet, but I'll allow myself to be surprised and see. It is hard, though, to not use the shea butter when it's ranked so much differently. And keep in mind, these right here, as well as they make aloe vera butter, they make different types of butters, right? These are vegetable butters. These are slightly different, but the reason they're up here is these are all carriers. So I hope that helps, and let's see if I missed any here on the last list. Just some ones. These could be anywhere from 3 to 4, maybe even 5, depending on the list. You've got marula, moringa, palm oil, soybean oil. One not listed is like wheat germ. Those are the ones, if you have, you know, acne-prone skin, you'd want to stay away from this end of the table. And so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, or you need any help, or you want a beauty product or anything customized, that's what we do. So we're here to build a community and to educate. So I'm Luke with naturalparfums.com, and you guys give us some feedback if you need anything or have any questions. Have a good one.